Hi, Alan Stratton from Woodturning. At a recent club meeting, we had a cross-grain box demonstration by Kirk DeHeer. He did a good job, but he started with 2 pieces of 10-inch or bigger maple. Very beautiful wood to start with. Now, I wanted to make one just to practice again, but I don't have those pieces of maple, but I do have 2 pieces of very beautiful spalted sweet gum wood. So my box will be a little bit smaller, won't fit a tortilla, but it'll still be a beautiful box, which is an exercise in mounting both with mortises and with tenons. So let's make this spalted sweet gum box.
This wood is sweet gum harvested from a tree in my former yard in Oregon. While I did rip it in half and seal the wood, it has been so long that the wood is spalted and has significant cracks from the end grain. It is definitely dry now. The wood is mostly sapwood that has spalted for some nice figure. I have 2 blocks from the same piece of the log. This piece is mounted with live center pressure onto the surface of closed jaws. Using my bowl gouge, I'm approaching the wood from the headstock side. This gives me access to side grain for much easier time roughly rounding the blank. Finally, I need to cut a tenon on the surface of this piece. I'm switching now to the piece that will become the base or bottom to the box. I'm taking the same approach to rough rounding by approaching from side grain. However, I'm cutting a mortise on this block, but I note some bad news around a small limb embedded in the wood. It needs a heavy dose of CA glue to stabilize this area. I'll let this dry for a while. Now that I have a solid mount for the block, I'm cutting a new mortise on the opposite side of the base. I could have started with a screw mount, but this takes a little less time for me. This wood takes a box scraper very well. So now I've reversed the mount onto the new mortise. I can start shaping the outside with my bowl gouge. The live center keeps the bowl very secure. Now to start hollowing. The wood pops out of the chuck. No biggie, I'll just put it back. As long as I keep the gouge pressure back toward the headstock, I'm fine. As soon as I try any cross pressure, the wood pops out of the chuck. Not good. I'm reversing the base onto the hollow that I've cut so far. I'll cut the mortise a little deeper and with a more defined corner. While I'm here, I can sand and apply my mix of beeswax and mineral oil. I'll try again with a recut mortise, but off again. Now this is getting frustrating. I see a crack in the bottom that may be contributing to the roaming base. To be secure, I have it mounted with the mortise and I'm using a box scraper to make sure I have a good surface inside the base. This will be a new mortise so that I can address that pesky bottom mortise. I'm addressing the bottom one more time. If this does not work, this box will never be finished and you'll never see this pretty box. Now that the box is again mounted to the refreshed mortise, I'm trying to finish hollowing this box. Just to be safe, I'm sticking to the box scraper to finish. It's almost too deep for a bowl gouge anyway. After sanding, I'm applying beeswax and mineral oil. I like this better for an interior finish than one with VOCs. It smells a lot better this way. Then measure so that I can size the top. Now the top is mounted using that tenon. I'm hollowing it with my bowl gouge. Unfortunately, there is some missing wood on one side. I'll have to waste off about a half an inch of wood before really hollowing the top. Before I finish, I'm measuring for and cutting another mortise inside the top. I generally cut out the sanding footage, but I want to say a word here. I'm proud to say that I start sanding most projects with 80 grit. This removes any remaining peaks and grooves that otherwise would take a lot of time to try to remove. I spend less time by starting with 80 grit. I feel all sorts of residual waves and grooves in other turners' bowls that profess to start sanding with 180 or 120 grit. My only exception is small spindle work, especially when I've used a skew. However, right now, I am not happy with the fit of the top, so I rework the top just a little. Now I can reverse it onto that inside mortise while I finish the top exterior. No problems holding it in place this time. Then sand and finish this piece. I like my cross-grain box. The spalted wood is especially pretty and provides nice accents over what otherwise is plain sapwood. While I had to rework the base mortise somewhat, the final result is worth the hassle. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe on my website, tell your friends, and send me your comments and questions. Every week I make a new wood turning video. Please wear your full face shield anytime that lathe is running. So until next week's video, this is Alan Stratton from As Wood Turns.